Color and cultural and emotional perceptions. People's choice of color is more complex than I initially thought. Figuring out how color perception matches with neural activity is an important step towards understanding how the brain constructs our understanding of the world around us. And we need that if we're to understand our target audience and design appropriately for them. Color has been commonly used among the many cultures for communicating information and creating emotions. The common idea is that a color can generate a specific emotion at any given time. These are the generic ideas of what emotion a color should elicit, which is great if you're designing for the masses. But color should have some perspective. We cannot broadly say that the different people would gain the same emotions just by looking at the same color, or even that color looks the same all the time. The small squares are the same color, but depending on the colors around them, we perceive them differently. The effects of color can be both physical and emotional. The color green and blue, which are most common colors in nature, can provide a better healing to a stressed out mind. The color blue is widely used in therapy to reduce stress, and Japan has gone as far as to paint the train station walls blue, as it's helped reduce suicide in public spaces by 75%. We always assign meaning to color because of our preferences, our history, and our cultures. Ideally, color is different for everyone. Quick question. How many of you assign meaning to a red baseball hat? Prior to a few years ago, I never gave it a second thought. In my mind, I used to be affiliated with either Bart Simpson, the Chicago Bulls, or even the Blackhawks. When we talk about color and culture, we have to be aware of not only traditional color meaning, but also its connotations within different religions and the cultural zeitgeist that's happening around the color. So take all of this information with a grain of salt. Some of it might have changed even since it has been written. This graph is taken from the website Information Beautiful, and it shows there's some differences and similarities within color meaning across cultures. So if you would like to visit this website, it is really fantastic. It'll tell you like green means the same in what's 35. Green means good luck over here, 35, and that is A in Western America, but also it could mean growth in America as well. So it gives you different cultures. So different cultures, the cultures are Western, Japanese, Hindu, Native American, Chinese, Asian, Eastern European, Muslim, African, South Africa. Those are the countries they're looking at, and they're in their different squares here, and then all the different emotions. So you can see where there is overlap within different countries and where there's the same. It's really an interesting graph. Okay, so specifically colors. Red. In Western countries, red evokes excitement, danger, urgency, and love. When red is combined with green, the color scheme becomes festive, the traditional colors of Christmas. Red's associated with purity in India. Brides traditionally wear red wedding dresses. In Latin America, red can also have religious connotations when combined with white. Red evokes danger and caution in the Middle East. In China, it symbolizes luck and happiness. In former Eastern European bloc countries, red still can evoke associations with communism. In some African countries, it's a symbol of death. In Nigeria, red represents vitality and aggression, while in Iran, it's a symbol of courage and good fortune. Egyptians believe that red is a lucky charm. And on the other hand, some African countries associate red with death. It represents vitality and aggression in Nigeria. It's considered a symbol of good fortune and courage in Iran. In Egypt, a lucky charm. And Thais honor the good Surah or sun by wearing red on Sundays. Blue. In Western colors, blue denotes safety and trust. The color is commonly associated with masculinity, but in China, it's often associated with women. It projects authority, loyalty, and security, and for this reason, it's used by many banks and has become the standard for police uniforms. But blue can also mean sadness. Blue is one of the most commonly used colors in American marketing, often considered a safe color for a global audience because it lacks significant negative connotations. Blue is tied to immortality, spirituality, and heaven in Eastern cultures. And in Hinduism, the color is associated with Krishna, who embodies love and divine joy. With their strong Catholic population, Latin American cultures also associate blue with religion because blue is the color of Virgin Mary's mantle. It can, however, also be associated with mourning. In some cultures, the color blue is used to repel evil and considered a symbol of healing. And in Albania, Afghanistan, Iran, Greece, and Turkey, it's common belief that using blue amulets shaped like eyes will protect the wearer or user from the evil eye. Green. In Western countries, green's often related to the environment, progress, and luck. The color is safe and healthy, promoting growth and longevity, but also jealousy, greed, and inexperience. However, green brings up negative connotations in Indonesia, where it's regarded as a forbidden color, representing exorcism and infidelity. In China, green can indicate infidelity, where the expression wearing a green hat means a man is being cheated on by his wife. No self-respecting man wears a green hat in China, is what I read. Green's the national color of Mexico, where it stands for independence and patriotism. In South America, however, green is the color of death. The color also has strong associations with Islam, and green is currently used in several national flags as a symbol for that region. The color is also associated with death in countries teeming with dense forest. In Israel, bad news is symbolized by the color green, while Japan believes green is a symbol for eternal life, and it signifies corruption in North Africa. Orange represents autumn, warmth, and harvest in Western cultures. However, in the Middle East, it's associated with mourning and loss. Many European countries link orange to love, happiness, and good health. Hindus believe the color saffron or soft orange is sacred and auspicious. For the Japanese, orange symbolizes love, courage, and happiness. Buddhist monks prefer to wear orange robes because it represents many positive virtues. The Dutch royal family uses orange as their personal color. And in the Ukraine, it represents bravery and strength. For the country, orange became a symbol of the people's unity in 2004, the Orange Revolution, when they stood up as one against the fallacious presidential elections. Yellow is a bright, cheery color associated with happiness, optimism, and warmth in the U.S. However, yellow also has an array of negative connotations in other parts of the globe. In Egypt, much of Latin America, the color is linked to death and mourning. For Germans, yellow symbolizes envy and jealousy. While in France, aside from being associated with jealousy, yellow means contradiction, weakness, and betrayal. The darker meaning of yellow dates back several centuries for the French. In the 10th century, for example, the doors of the criminals and traitors in France were painted yellow. Golden yellow hues are associated with money, status, and material success. And in certain African countries, the color is worn only by those who rank highly in society due to its connection with money and success, because it resembles gold. Purple. Nobility, spirituality, faith, piety, wealth, and royalty are some of the terms associated with purple. In the olden days, purple dye was very rare and difficult to acquire because it was extracted from a particular species of sea snails. It was expensive to produce purple-colored cloth, and it became a symbol of the monarchy. The Buddhist monks with the highest rank are the only ones allowed to wear purple robes in Japan. It's the color of penitence among Catholics. For the Thais, Britons, Indians, Italians, and Brazilians, however, purple is reserved for mourning. Brazilians even consider it unlucky to wear purple if the person is not attending a wake or funeral service. In other countries, it symbolizes honor. The U.S. military awards the Purple Heart for military personnel who sustain wounds or are killed while on active duty. Pink. Things for a baby girl, tenderness, caring, romance, love, femininity are all words Western cultures associated with the color pink. These terms are symbolic of the color pink in several Eastern countries. In Japan, it's more associated with men, although it's not exclusive, and in terms of clothes, both men and women can wear pink. In Latin America, it's a symbol of architecture. Argentina has the pink house, which is much like our White House. In South Korea, pink represents trust. And many prison cells are painted pink because pink is believed to stimulate the mind, have a calming effect on people, and can lower violent behavior. Baker Miller Pink, which was named after directors at the time of a Naval Correctional Institute in Seattle, was created with the claim that it would noticeably diminish aggressive behavior. And I highly suggest you look up that story. Baker Miller Pink. Brown. In the U.S., brown is an earthy color that's stable and dependable. Food containers are traditionally brown, and the color is used by delivery companies like UPS. In the Middle East, brown is also viewed as a comfortable color that is harmonious with the earth. However, in some Latin American countries, such as Colombia and Nicaragua, the color can be met with disapproval. Eastern countries and India associate brown with mourning. Black evokes sophistication, elegance, and power in the U.S., where it's often used by luxury brands, but it is also associated with mystery, bad luck, like a black cat, illness, fierceness, magic, mourning, evil, and death. In Latin America, the color is linked to masculinity, and black is often worn by men, and black is also associated with mourning in many cultures. White is associated with weddings, purity, and cleanliness in Western society. Korea, China, and other countries in Asia, it's also a symbol of bad luck. mourning, and death, so the color is worn only during funerals. But in Peru, the color is a symbol of time, good health, and angels. One example of a company effectively utilizing colors across its global websites is McDonald's, whose sites are customized to reflect the color preferences of each country. The company's signature red is used throughout its global sites, but McDonald's adapts its usage of the color accordingly. For example, in India, where red is very auspicious, favorable color, the site uses a very saturated red as a background color in comparison to other sites where it's reduced to an accent color. Compare, for example, the very different color palettes used for India, Italy, and Sweden. At the same time, they also try to communicate across culturally with their graphics. Beware of the pitfalls of color in multicultural advertising. An example of a mistake in this area is Euro Disney, which featured the color purple in signage, souvenirs, and marketing material. Market research later revealed that the purple was perceived differently in Europe than the United States. In Catholic Europe, the color symbolized death and the crucifixion, and due to the negative connotations, Disney redesigned and renamed its European campaign, significantly reducing the usage of purple in printed materials and throughout the park. Most comic book characters have some colors in common. Most of the superheroes that we see have these three primary colors. The superheroes are generally the good guys and fight against the bad guys that want to take the world, in most cases, the earth, into darkness. Red is considered to increase the blood pressure when interacted with. The color red increases fighting instincts and is more integrated with law and order. Blue tells a character's calmness, focus, and clarity, and yellow is indicative of positive thinking and confidence. Or another popular idea of using primary colors in early comic books is that the early days of printing, the presses didn't have much choice in color except the primary and secondary colors, and had used them on the superheroes and used black or dark gray on the villains, and it just stuck. Emotions and color. People often link colors and emotions. English speakers see red, feel blue, or are green with envy, meaning they're sad, envious, angry, sad, or envious, respectively. French speakers, violent rouge, they see red. Ont un peur bleu, have blue fever, or ont un rire jaune, I have no idea, have a yellow laugh, meaning they're angry, extremely anxious, or display a forced or false laugh. German speakers, sin rot, see red, sind blau or blue, or werden gelb. People, I do not speak different languages. Gelb or verdnid turn yellow with envy, meaning they're angry, drunk, or envious, respectively. As one can see, some of these color metaphors repeat across languages, while others differ. We also need to be aware of the emotional experience that your target audience will have with the color. We all perceive colors in different ways. Someone might see a blue color that reminds them of a sweater their mom had, or somebody might have grown up in a tumultuous house that was painted yellow and keep those negative connotations with them. We can only do our best when we're selecting colors. Good news, though, in a recent study done in 30 countries with over 4,500 participants, they revealed that people found it easy to link colors and emotions. This was particularly true for colors like red, black, or yellow. Other colors like brown and purple received fewer associations. They also found few cultural differences. In other words, many color emotional associations seemed universal. Most participants agreed that pink was associated with love and pleasure, and yellow with joy and amusement, or that black was the saddest color. When accounting for cultural differences, there were some specificities too. For example, in addition to the universal associations of love and anger with red, Chinese participants also associated with joy and amusement, while Nigerian participants additionally associated fear with red. Another example is the association between purple and sadness that only Greek participants chose. For others, purple was generally a positive color with very little agreement on the exact emotions associated with purple. We can say that purple was the most controversial color of all. Interestingly, participants whose languages were more similar to each other also had more similar associations with color and emotion, as did the participants who lived geographically closer, also associated colors and emotions more similarly. In order for us to choose the right colors for our audience, we need to understand them better. Not just their geographic location or a list of words associated with particular colors, but them. Where do they come from? What do they believe in? What do they care about? And what matters to them? And that's why we do the design brief. That's why we focus in on our target audience. So really think about what makes them tick. What do they enjoy doing? What brands do they like? What shades of red or blue would they respond to? And after all this information, you're probably wondering how you can best use color. Remember that a product or service should always reflect what it's about. And then identify what your customer's all about. And simply by identifying and making the effort to understand your target audience should help you make better choices. There are many factors that impact the way people will respond to a brand color. History, emotions, beliefs, they all have a role. They respond to unique, relevant, and targeted experiences. So, by tailoring your content to the preferences of your audiences, you can avoid misunderstandings and establish an authentic, genuine connection simply by choosing the right color.